Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at all my PR108 Cadmium Reds. Now cadmium reds, well all cadmium pigments for that matter, are often avoided by many artists, and it's not just because of how opaque they are but also due to concerns about the toxicity of cadmium. I have read though that the risks to health are pretty small unless you inhale it or eat it. Okay, so let's get started. Right, first up is Vinci Cadmium Scarlet. Yeah, this is a lovely orange-red pigment. And as with most Da Vinci paints I've tried, it flows really nicely on the wet paper. This one came from a small dried pan. I mean, it re-wet okay, but we have to see how it compares with some of the others that come fresh from the tube. So next we have Winsor & Newton Cadmium Scarlet. Wow, this one's really vibrant. And it flows on the paper even nicer than the Da Vinci. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this one. Though it did come fresh from the tube, rather than from a dried pan. Next we have Rembrandt Cadmium Red Light. So this is the only dual pigment mix in this comparison. Along with the usual PR108, there's also PR120, which is cadmium orange. And this one's also from Rembrandt's old range, which is no longer available. They used to have 3 cadmium reds, a light, a medium and a deep. But in the new range they only have 2, a standard cadmium red and a cadmium red deep. They are both single pigments though. Yeah, this one's a lovely paint. It's nice and vibrant. It doesn't move a whole lot on the wet paper though. Next we have another Da Vinci. This one is Cadmium Red Light. Yeah, pretty much everything I said about the Da Vinci Cadmium Scarlet applies to this one also. It's a really nice paint. It flows beautifully on the wet paper. I'm not sure it's quite as vibrant as the Rembrandt before it, but that might be due to it coming from a dry pan rather than fresh from the tube. And next we have White Knight's Cadmium Red Light. So this is the first cadmium red I ever used, I think, and at the time I didn't like it a whole lot. It's not because it was a bad paint or anything, it's more because I was just a beginner and I had no idea what I was doing. Looking at it here though, it actually looks like a lovely paint to me. Seems just as vibrant as the Rembrandt. And as far as I can remember, it's a lot cheaper too. Next up is Schmincke Horadam Cadmium Red Light. So this one came in a small half pan set that I got not so long ago. Yeah, it looks great to me. I really like how easy it was to re-wet from the pan. I find Schmincke pans to re-wet really easily. Yeah, maybe this is a little less orange leaning than the cadmium red lights before it. But yeah, still very nice though. Now onto the cadmium red medium. So just like the cadmium red light I've got, this is from Rembrandt's old range. As far as I know, this has been replaced with a new cadmium red. I mean, it might be the exact same paint that's just been renamed, I don't know. It is an excellent paint though, and it's actually the one I use in my palette the most. And next we have Szmal Cadmium Red. Yeah, it flows nicely on the wet paper. This one actually looks a bit darker than I was expecting. I mean, to me, it's almost like a cadmium red deep. Yeah, we'll have to see how it compares to the next two. Now we have Winsor & Newton Cadmium Red Deep. This one's so beautiful. I really do like these two Winsor & Newton Cadmium Reds I've tried here. I mean, both of them seem to be really high quality. Though I guess they should be for the price they charge for them. Okay, now onto the final paint, and it's another Da Vinci. It's Da Vinci Cadmium Red Deep. Yeah, it's another good paint from Da Vinci. I mean, it might not look quite as strong as the Winsor & Newton next to it, but that's because the Da Vinci's from a dry pan and the Winsor & Newton is fresh from the tube, I think. Yeah, it's not a totally fair comparison, I guess. But yeah, the Da Vinci looks perfectly good to me though. Okay, so that's all of them painted out. And here they are in daylight when completely dry. Wow, I had a really hard time to accurately capture these with my camera, but this is the closest I could get. It's not perfect, but hopefully it's okay. One thing I'll definitely say about these is that they all look great to me. It's very difficult to pick a favourite. I think you can clearly see that the weaker or less vibrant paints are the three Da Vinci's, the Schmincke and the Szmal. And it's no coincidence that all of these came from dried pans. Both of the Rembrandts, both of the Winsor & Newtons and the White Knights were all freshly squeezed from the tube. And yeah, I think that really shows. To me, they look much more vibrant. If I had to pick a favourite, or favourites, it would probably be the Winsor & Newton Cadmium Scarlet and the Rembrandt Cadmium Red Medium. I mean, which of these are your favourites? Do you have any favourite cadmium reds from other brands you think I should try? And for those of you that don't use cadmiums, I'll be really interested to hear what your go-to warm and middle reds are. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye bye.